Hi, it's Dr. Jackie Parasett from Omnia Health. So we're finishing up our discussions about the foundations of health. So far we have talked about nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Now we're talking about stress. Okay, we talk about stress all the time in our clinic. Why? Because it's a driver of disease. If we have chronic, overwhelming stress, we've all been there, right? We know what it does to us. It triggers what? IBS, migraines, headache, give us high blood pressure, palpitations, you name it, it's gonna do it. Chronic fatigue, anxiety, depression, all of it. It's all related to stress. And what I would say, it's related to how we're responding to stress. So a lot of times we can't change the stress in our lives, right? Whether it's our family, our kids, our spouse, our parents, our job. I mean, there's the world in general, a pandemic. So there's so many things that cause stress, and the only thing that we're gonna have control over is how we respond. And so it's really looking at how you're managing stress in your life. And you know what, if you're doing a good job, oh my gosh, great, and keep sharing and tell people what you're doing. But most of us really struggle with this. I know I do. And it tends to be when I take on too many things and I get overwhelmed and I don't take enough time for myself in various ways, right? And so how does that show up? I might become irritable, snappy, those things. None of us want to be that. And it really causes problems in our life. And it's not who any of us wants to be. So what can we do to deal with this chronic stress that we're all under? Okay, so the first thing is to look at how you're managing it and what your life's like. We all talk about like, oh, we're so busy, we got this and this and this. And you know, as moms, sometimes we're like the busy badge, like who's the busiest? That's not good. We need to look at our schedules and trim where we can. Get into the carpools, right? Do the grocery delivery. Can you spend $5 on grocery delivery because do you really need 45 minutes in the grocery store? Think about ways that you can look at your schedule. I look at my schedule a week at a time. I schedule in my workouts, I schedule in the dinners, and I schedule everything in so that I feel like I have a little bit of control over that week. I might not have a lot of control, but I have at least an idea, and that lowers my stress right away. If I don't do that, if I skip that on a Sunday, I feel like I'm just kind of running around the whole week and not really understanding what's going on. So look at ways you can delegate, look at ways you can shave things off your schedule, get into a carpool, really look at that. And then of course, you know I'm gonna talk about meditation. As we're all under chronic stress in our lives, meditation is an amazing tool that all of us can have access to that can really alter how we respond. It takes us out of that fight and flight, sympathetic drive and shifts us into that rest, digest, and heal zone of parasympathetic activity. So figure out what meditation might work for you. If you've never done it, there's tons of apps, right? There's so many different ways. Just sit and breathe. Sit and be calm. Take 5 minutes and just sit. That's something that we don't really do. And you know, meditation has been shown to help with this stress response everything from 5 minutes a day on. It's not something that where you need 45 minutes to sit in a room with a candle and blowing white curtains. That's not what we're talking about. We're just taking the time to sit, to connect with ourselves, and to focus on the world around us and on us and how we're responding to the world, okay? Meditation, we always say, if it was a pill, it would be a gazillion-dollar industry. It lowers cortisol, it grows our brain. This is really something that you need to investigate and understand the true power of it and the peacefulness of it that comes. And other things, is it reading? Is it prayer? Is it exercise? What things can really help you manage your stress better? When somebody comes in and tells me, oh, I'm so stressed out, my stress is a 10 out of 10, I'm like, okay, so what do you do to manage that? And a lot of times they look at me like, what? And then one of the other questions I always ask them too is, what do you do for fun? You know, how are you connecting with your community, with your family, with your friends? Are you taking time to make sure that those connections keep going? That is such a stress lower, right? It's, you know, whether it's just sitting down with your partner and reconnecting after a busy day or a long week and it's 5 minutes. Or maybe it's, you know, my husband and I, when it's nice outside at least, we have little deck dates. Well, after work, we'll just sit out there and kind of relax and just reconnect and chat. And it might just be 5 minutes, but it's really nice. And it's really making sure you carve out the time for your friends or reconnecting and picking up the phone. Those connections lower our stress. And playing with your dog. There's so many different things that you can do. But really look at how you're responding to this. Maybe consider giving meditation a try. Maybe consider how you can look at your schedule as a whole and shave off things, move things around, delegate, okay? But we have to figure out how we can manage our stress in our daily lives and not let that stress take control over us, okay? All right. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, let us know. All right, talk to you guys soon.